You can't do that to him. She's gonna be on the top of everyone's chopping block. COUNSELOR.
Hey guys, welcome back to me and Ava's podcast. Today we are joined by a very special guest. We have Cornelia, otherwise known as contestant 744. Say hey, Corn.
Hey!
So today we want to talk a lot about Corn's story in Beast Games. And so let's go all the way back to your first shining moment of the show. Episode 3, we're in the cubes. Let's talk about it.
All my tears?
Yes, all your tears.
All my tears. Okay, where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start with like the hay sack race or like in the cubes?
How about you start like why you picked the people you picked and then get into like this cube story.
Okay, so the reason that I guess part of it is that I was left with 5 of the people from my original Vegas crew. And so that was Cody, Akira, Casey, Kendra, and Piper. And they were all from my original Vegas crew. And so we were all obviously still pretty close. And I actually felt like because I had been going around and socializing with other people a lot, like I hadn't had a ton of time to catch up with them that day in particular. And so I was like, you know what? I need to make sure I get with my Vegas crew for this game that's not for elimination. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. And then I was like, oh, Casey, Piper, and Kendra already have each other. And I just trot on up to Cody and Akira and I'm like, hey guys, can I join you? And they were like, yeah. And so that's how I ended up with them. It's really just because they were part of my Vegas crew and just because I'd been missing my Vegas crew that day, which is unfortunate.
So when you found out you were going against each other, what was the feeling?
Dread, sorrow, and like just a pit in my stomach. I felt sick because I was like, I feel like just such a jerk for running over here. And I don't know. I mainly just felt really, really sad. And like, I don't know. It just really, really sucked. And I just cried a lot because I felt terrible that one of us was going to be going home and like, you know what I mean? And also at the time, I didn't know what the game was going to be. And so I was really stressed out because I was like, if it's strength related, I'm about to get like, I'm leaving. So I was really scared and I don't know, just sad. Very, very sad.
Yeah. Obviously, we could tell you were pretty sad as we saw lots of tears being shed inside the box, especially when you finished your game.
So, no, we played a card game. Sort of, and it was Cody's idea. We basically decided that we wanted to do a game of chance because we loved each other. We didn't want to do anything that was gonna make somebody feel like it was unfair or anything like that. And we also wanted to leave it up to fate, whoever was meant to move on. And so we did a game where we shuffled the deck. We all took turns shuffling the deck, and then we split it in 3 ways evenly, and then whoever had the ace of spades would handcuff themselves. However, Cody pulled it, and I was, extremely upset because I just knew whoever was going to have to do it. I just knew how much that sucked. And I knew that any of us would have done it, and that it just sucked to be the one to have it happen to you, which is why I was just so inconsolable about it. It was just so awful. Like the situation just sucked really, really, really bad. But what I didn't know, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Akira and Cody had decided beforehand that I wasn't going to be going home, period.
Yeah,
so
Akira told us that. And then they told you after it all happened, right, that they were protecting you.
And it's so mean because, I guess it's not mean. It's very, very sweet. I still don't really in one way I understand. In another way I don't understand, if that makes sense. I don't really understand why I got immunity in some ways. And so
it's just because you're so lovable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Akira's take on it was, or his whole reasoning was like, I already had my chance to like be on things like this in the past. And so, if I can give somebody a shot, that's fine. I don't know, maybe it's the girl privilege of being like the girl. I don't know. I was like the only girl in the group. Maybe that's
maybe
part of it. I don't really. Yeah. I genuinely. I'll be honest with you. Again, I know one reason and from one perspective of one thing, but like I don't really know the full understanding. I can't get a full grasp on it still. So
yeah.
It's interesting.
All we really heard, or what Akira said, literally, was what you just said. He already had a lot of chances with MrBeast, etc. But Cody was the one that brought it up to him, and Cody said, like, it's gonna be me or you, right? So it was Cody's idea, and then Akira obviously was on board because of like his past experience and stuff. So that's what Akira said.
Yeah. I guess, yeah. And my whole thing is, like, I still to this day don't, like, 100% understand why give me immunity. Like, they kind of explained it. Like, Cody said it was, like, because he just couldn't stand to see me, like, cry and leave me there. And I was like, okay, well, you were already going to see me cry because I was going to cry no matter who we put on the chain.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did something so mean. And I haven't said this before, but he literally the entire time we were in the box, because he knew that obviously I wasn't going to be going. Apparently, I thought I was, and he would keep saying shit. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna really suck to have to leave you here." He kept saying that to me. And I was like,
"That's so Cody. That is so.
That's so Cody." And he's like, "It's gonna break my heart to see you on that chain." And I was like,
"Oh my God!"
I literally looked at him dead in the eye, and I was just like, "Why would you say that to me?" Like,
yeah.
I was like, "What? Like, why would you say that to me? Though? Like, genuinely, why would you say that to me?" And that made me feel so bad. But then I get out. I get to the room and Akira tells me what's actually going on, and I just start crying for the rest of the day. Like, I just
but it's like,
felt so special.
Thank God you didn't lose. Could you imagine? Oh, because then you would have felt even worse. It would have been so bad. It would have been so bad. But Akira said, like, yeah, we would have tackled her to the ground before she cuffed herself.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Literally, I don't even know what they would have done, because I would have gotten up pretty much right away and been like, all right, time to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you can't just, like, sit there and, like, wait it out.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know, it's just, I don't know. I just remember the entire experience being really, like, surreal feeling, and I felt very out of it during the entire time being in the box. Until Cody, like, pulled that card, and then it was all, like, incredibly real, and, like, I just started bawling.
Yeah.
I love my friends. Like, to explain, I love my friends so incredibly much, and any of them being not in the game anymore and not getting to hang out with me every day sounds like the worst thing literally ever. I hate it. So.
Yeah.
It's
a really tough situation. That sucks for you. I mean, it sucks for all of us, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
At least you know now that you were safe no matter what, and it didn't come down to that. Like, if you were gonna cover yourself, that just would have been bad.
I honestly, like, I don't even know. If they had told me that beforehand, I don't even know what I would have done. Like, if they had let me know I was immune.
But like, that's
what do you even do?
That's the thing. There's nothing that you could have done that would have changed their minds. So even if they did tell you, like,
I know.
You wouldn't, so you would be safe either way.
That's the thing, because I would have tried to convince them otherwise, honestly. I would have been like, why? We would have spent the entire time arguing about, like, why. Because I still don't get it. I still don't understand why. Yeah.
So moving on from episode 3 and going into episode 4, we go into the glass ball challenge. And obviously you had Akira as your lead and got you through that challenge, so thank you to him. Is there any stories from that you want to share that, like, wasn't shown? Because there wasn't a lot of screen time for that challenge at all, really.
Are there stories? Oh, there are stories. So I don't know how much of this, like, I've even actually covered, but I just remember, because I don't know when you guys got out. I don't know what row y'all were in. Oh, you weren't even there, Ava.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
You were cool as hell. Like, you getting onto that helicopter, I was like, main character. Main character. Okay. But no, okay, because Ivy, you were there, but y'all got out pretty early, right? On the glass ball one.
Yeah, we got out super early.
Because our whole strategy. So first of all, when we were first picking teams, I instantly knew I needed Akira, Kendra, and Piper. Colton waltzes over and he's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Hell yeah, dude! I don't know." And then I saw Emma and I was like, I don't know why, but Emma needs to be on this team. And she also was already coming over, and I was like, Emma! And so she, like, kind of joined in too. And she said that for some reason she just felt like she knew she needed to be with us. So we were all a team. And then I forget his name. There was somebody else who was on our team, and it made us like one of the 7 teams, right? And I was not a fan of that. And I usually am like not one to want to exclude people or not one to want to like be the bad cop type of thing about things, if that makes sense. But because Jimmy said stuff about being like, if there are 7 people, if you are one of the teams with 7 that makes it, we'll have a way to figure out who gets on the helicopter. And I was like, no.
Oh yeah. How is
No,
that
no, no,
gonna
no,
work?
no,
I
no.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
No, I'm not doing that. Yeah, he was saying stuff like that, and it was very obvious to me that not all of them were going to get to go. And I said, I don't want that to be the case. The guy mentioned, he was like, "Do you guys want to be a team of 6?" And I was like, "Yes." I feel kind of bad, but like also, I really did want to be a team of 6 because I absolutely did not even want the chance. And so he went away, and then we were all talking about our strategies because we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. But I just remember Kendra was like she just had the confidence, the stability. She was like leading us through our mindsets going into this. And we pretty much decided really quick that we weren't going to be moving that ball. Like our entire plan was hold it for like 10 minutes. Let's see where we're at, and then we'll start passing it. And then it very quickly became, Akira, you're going to have to hold this thing the entire time. And I just remember screaming at Harrison because he was on our left side and he kept getting so close. Nothing makes me more, okay, and I love Harrison, okay? I interviewed Harrison. No hate, okay? But nothing made me angrier than him getting really close to Akira and almost bumping him. Me and Kendra were both like yelling at him, being like, back up, get in your line. And I'm so glad they didn't show because it probably looked really bad on us. But I didn't care. I was like, you're going to hit Akira, and Akira's in the zone right now, dude. You can't do that to him. So that was definitely the majority of the glass ball challenge was me watching other people, watching the balls like fall and break and like counting and being like, how many do we have left? And like praying on others' downfall. Sorry. Because like I was like, drop the ball. I remember Harrison finally like dropped his, or like it fell on the hole or something like that. And I was like, sorry, but I'm so thankful because oh my God, you were stressing me out. So they went away. But I had a question for you, Ivy. Were you guys mad at us for not dropping the ball or anything like that?
So here, I'll tell you, like, so my team, and this is just on us, like, this is just fully on us. We misunderstood the whole point of the game.
Okay.
Like, we thought, obviously, the ball can't break. We thought it was mandatory to bring it to the front, to the back, and back again. Like, we thought that was the only way you could win. And so, right off the bat, I know. And so, instead of everybody else seemed to have realized that, no, you just need to have a ball that hasn't shattered. Like, it doesn't really matter to pass it because that's when everybody would drop it, is when you're trying to pass it to each other. And so we definitely misunderstood that. And so then we dropped it pretty early. And so then we were like, I still didn't fully understand. So some people on my team thought that we might still have a chance because we got it all the way to the end. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of confusion with my team, at least. But then I would say it was like a bittersweet moment because when y'all won, and like just to be honest, because y'all were like some of my closest friends, so I was like, yes, like, they're going to the island, like I'm so happy for them. But to be honest, like I cried afterwards because I was just like, I wish I was with them, and I just like had like so much FOMO. I was like, I just wish I was with them there, but I was also so happy. So it was like such a big range of emotion. But ultimately, like I'm so glad that y'all made it, because had I like not made it onto the helicopter, I would have y'all to root for the rest of the game, like as a viewer.
Right.
So, but in the moment, it was just a lot to take in. But ultimately, glad y'all got it, of course, because that was insane.
Honestly, I felt so bad because like you in particular were like one of the people I was like, come on, I'm not having to actually leave Ivy. I thought for sure that like we were going to be on the same helicopter kind of thing. Like I really thought that we were going to end up on the same one. And so I was like, oh my God, no. I felt that way about leaving you and Princess. I was like, I I felt so sad about that. And just like the entire Delta crew, it just felt not good. But also, I was just like unbelievably thrilled.
Oh,
And
I bet.
also,
Yeah.
I have kind of a funny story. That day, so the day before, I was like, okay, the next helicopter I'm gonna get on this next one. And I kept saying that every single time, like trying to hype myself up about it. But that day, and this is gonna sound so stupid. I know. It's okay though. I didn't like take the time to do my makeup that day or like present myself at all because I was so tired. I don't know why I was really tired. I think it was from crying the day before. And so I was, from the boxes challenge. So I was like super beat down. And so I just like didn't really put a lot of time into getting myself ready. And so I was like, it's going to be this one. It's going to be this one. It's going to be this one. And I kept saying that over and over again and it kept not being that one. And I was so dejected by that last helicopter of the night leaving with Jeremy. I was so upset about it. And I was like, I thought it was going to be that one. I was like, no, it's going to be the first one the next day. It will be. And I'm going to do my makeup to make sure. And so that morning, I made sure I got up in time to do my makeup and look really nice and put together. And guess what? It paid off because that morning I got on the helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
And I'm a full believer that it was because I took the time to do my makeup that is why I got on the helicopter.
Yeah.
That set it in stone. It had to happen.
Yep. I was like, no, I'm like ready for the cameras to be on me. I'm ready to get on the helicopter. I'm put together enough. It'll be today. It'll be the first one. And you know what? It ended up literally being the first helicopter because we were like the first helicopter of those 3 groups to go. So
it was the makeup.
That's all I gotta say. Do your makeup, girls. You gotta know.
This pretty girl can't be eliminated. She can't be eliminated.
Yeah, they were like, no. She's gotta go. She's gotta get to that island.
We have to get her to trivia so she can spell counselor.
You wanna know what's even crazier? That day, this makes me feel sick to my stomach. Because of how sick I was that day, I didn't do my makeup. I didn't put the time into it like I should have.
That's the reason.
It is
what
the
is that?
It's the makeup.
That proves.
There's something in this stuff.
Yeah, it proves that it's the makeup.
It literally proved. Because I did my makeup for the second episode, the first episode, and for the cubes. And I made it through all of those. Didn't get on the helicopters when I didn't have it on. Did my makeup. Got on the first helicopter. Get to the island. Make it through all of that. Had my makeup done that day. And then I get back. I get sick. And the first thing I do is not put on my makeup. Don't ever do that. Put yourself together, people. Don't. Yeah. It was a whole thing.
Brutal. Okay, so transitioning into episode 5 now and talking about the island a little bit since the viewers literally didn't get to see any of our island time. How about you highlight some of your favorite moments from the island and anything like really memorable?
So let's see here. My best memories are for sure running to the cave with Akira. That was really fun. Me and Akira went and explored do you know where the cave is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went and explored the cave. I mean, there's not really much to explore. You just kind of step in it. Yeah, but we went there and that was really fun. And I got just absolutely shown up when it comes to physical endurance by him because I was like huffing and puffing down the beach when he was just like, this is really easy. This is a great little workout. And I'm like, man, please slow down. And then I loved playing volleyball. Volleyball was so much fun. I don't know. Did y'all ever play volleyball?
I literally played like one game and then I didn't play. I was like,
no,
I need
to
save my physical strength just in case a challenge appears.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? When I went to the hotel, sorry, this is like kind of backtracking a little bit, but when I got to the hotel after getting on the helicopter in episode 4, I remember I was so hyped up and stressed that something else was going to happen that I walked into the little like tiny conference area that they had us in to like kind of say hey and be like, all right, we're on lockdown, don't talk to people. And when we were in the hotel, I remember seeing these like squares and they had a bunch of squares in them. They were all different colors and stuff. And there were a ton of them all over the tables. And I was losing my mind. I was like, Akira, this is a puzzle. This is a puzzle. I was like freaking out. I was like, look at it. It's a puzzle. And I was trying to get him to like get ready for a challenge or like a surprise challenge of some sort. And he was like, Cornelia, those are coasters.
Yo.
Those are coasters.
Yo. It's because your brain is like
coasters
wired to think like expect anything. Anything is coming at any moment. That's so funny though, the fact they were coasters.
I was just like losing my mind about it though. I was like thinking for sure that they were like gonna use those to place us in certain things on the island or something, and like they had hidden camera. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
on something that day. But then yeah, so back to the island, sorry. So I actually, once I got to the island, especially the vacation island, it seemed like other people were worried that we were about to get, I don't know, that like something, there was like some sort of twist to it. I was fully convinced it literally was just a vacation, and I was just living every day as if it was a vacation. I just couldn't be bothered. I just wasn't worried about it at all.
It's so good though.
I know.
Oh.
And so I was just kind of like, you know, that's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
And so I played a lot of, or not a lot, I played a little bit of volleyball. I did a lot of swimming and the cave run. I loved running Werewolf for the people on the island. That's always so much fun. I love running Werewolf. And the dance party, I'm sure y'all remember the dance party, right?
That was so fun.
Dude, get me a Cupid shuffle, you know? Get me a wobble. Get me a Cupid shuffle or a wobble. I'm having a good night. I don't need drinks. I don't need alcohol. I just need the wobble. That's it.
That's what's so crazy to think about too. Like we were having such a good time and we're all completely sober. Like dude, it just proves like you can just have a good time if you're with good people, you know.
That's the best. I mean, it's without the phones though. You got to take away the phones.
So, yeah, that's 100% true. It's the technology. So.
Honestly, the best type of fun. It was a blast.
Yeah, and no cameras on us. We were literally just vibing.
Oh yes. And then I really loved. This is like one of my favorite memories. Is the scary stories. Ivy, were you there for Scary Story Night?
No, I have so much FOMO. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what I was on, but I think that night I like went to bed early or something. I don't know.
I'm so sad for you. I think Emma missed that too, actually.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, it's just me and Emma talking or something like that.
That's right. Y'all completely missed it. Ava, you're like, you tell me those scary stories were not the best thing ever.
Okay, no, it was so funny because I joined the conversation late, and so y'all were already like riffing off each other with these scary stories, and there were like inside jokes too at the time, and they were like, oh, you guys weren't here for that part of the story, but it's funny, like it's funny because you were trying to explain like how it connects and why it's so funny. I was just like, okay, yeah, I totally get it. But
were you there for the original Cropsy story?
No.
Cropsy.
No, I don't think I was.
Man, God, that story is burned. It is burned in my brain. I could probably retell that story like a million times, but I'll never tell it as well as Colton did because he's so damn funny. Like
hilarious.
I was like literally getting abs from laughing, which is the best type of laugh ever. And so, man, that night was so funny. And I just and were either of you there for hide and seek?
No, not on the island.
Wait. I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Damn, y'all missed out. We would hang out at that
what were we doing?
And we would.
What were we doing?
I don't know. What were you guys doing?
I don't know.
Were we just hanging out in the room? I don't even know.
Staying away from everyone. I don't know.
Let me tell you what you missed out on. You ready for this? You missed out on the Scary Story Night, except for Ava. I guess you got there in time. Yeah. Did you hear my Lollipop Man story?
I think I do remember that. It's
a good one, right?
Yeah. Dude.
You missed you missed Sardines. We played Sardines, and it was so much fun. Very scary because it was also really dark. That was so funny. I remember Piper. It was Piper went first, like hiding. She lays down in the middle of the field, and nobody could find her. Like for the longest time, it was wild. And then I loved painting. The painting was so much fun. The Vincent Van Gogh.
Don't even get me started on that, bro.
Unfortunate foreshadowing. Yeah.
I'm literally Vincent Van Gogh right now.
Literally Vincent Van Gogh.
Anyways, so let's see here if there's anything else. I had a particularly fun time riding on the boats that took us to the yacht or to the island, like the little ones.
Oh, yeah, those were so fun.
I was always yelling at the guys who like 100% did not speak English and did not understand me at all. I was trying to get them to like go fast and beat the other boats. I was like, we gotta go, we gotta beat them, we gotta beat them. And then usually they understood though. Usually they at least like understood what I was trying to say enough.
I remember,
But
Corn, one of we like actually did a race with another boat. I think we were all on the same boat, like sitting in the back.
Yeah.
We were like Rapido, and then we learned his name,
Rapido,
and we're like,
Rapido.
yeah.
yes, that was right. That was
And then there
the
were
best
dolphins
time ever.
too, right? There were
Yeah.
dolphins on like the side while we were going.
Dolphins, and then there were also the whales.
There were a ton
I
of
loved
whales.
the whale.
It was so pretty during sunrise. It felt
I'm so mad I didn't get up
majestical.
in time for that.
It was like,
Yeah,
I
I didn't
remember
either.
specifically like the final day I got up for sunrise, and it was like me, Gage, and like Sam, like the videographer or whatever, and we were all just standing there like facing out watching the sunrise with the whales jumping like and I remember I was like,
wow.
thank you. We were leaving. I was like, thank you, Beast Island. Thank you for this wonderful like experience. Yeah.
What a beautiful farewell.
Thank you for allowing me to survive in the middle of the ocean.
Oh my god. I was worried we were goners during the storm.
Oh,
I was about to say that. Yeah. Dude, I thought we were cooked. I like woke up and I was like, yeah, we're definitely gonna die. Like I made my peace with that, but I just like went back to bed. I was like, okay.
It was so loud.
I know. Dude. Oh wait, low-key. This is so wait, we didn't even say this. We were in the same cabin.
Oh
Did
yeah.
you say that?
No, we didn't.
No.
Okay, yeah. We were all in the same cabin because there were like 4 people to a cabin. So it was us and then it was Emma. We were all like in cabins together and it was really fun.
We were covered in bug bites because there were a lot of bugs on the island, for all of you, just so they know. And there's a funny story, like I think Ivy shared it on her podcast, but she like went up to Karl and was like, yo, I got the monkeypox, because she had so many bug bites, because there was a monkeypox outbreak like when we were in the games. Yeah. And Ivy didn't know that. Ivy didn't know. She thought it was a joke.
I was like, dude,
oh my gosh. Did you? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you know what? I have a funny story about Karl when I was on the fighting island before like we made our decisions. Karl and I were picking up hermit crabs and like trading hermit crabs with each other.
I love that.
So much fun. Yeah. It was so funny because he was trying to scare me with it, I thought at first, because like he came up to me, he's like, you want to hold this? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah. So I put it in my hand and I was just like, yeah. And then we had a discussion about if I was a cat person or a dog person, and I said a bunny person, and he was like, what? And so then he was talking about his cats and something else, and then he was also surprised that we like lived not that far from each other, and I was like, yeah, dude, North Carolina, born and raised. So
he's a cat person.
Yeah, apparently he has cats, and that's like his thing. He likes cats, and I was like, dude, that's sick. Animals.
Awesome.
Rock on.
Yeah, Karl's so funny. He has like so many moments throughout the show with all of us that's just iconic. Like I'll never forget a lot.
Oh my god.
Like when he was a contestant in the city.
God, that was so
good.
Funny.
So
Mr.
good.
Lyric Decoy.
And it's so funny how tiny
so funny.
Karl is. And in the jersey he's just like,
yeah, the jersey was huge.
Wait, do y'all remember him like going crisscross applesauce, putting his like leg up, and then he would like crawl towards us really fast? That shit was so funny.
Dude.
Why was he doing that
what
too?
Is this
like
guy on?
What like went in his head where he was
right.
like, I need to do this right now?
I don't know, but he did it frequently. And I always thought it was so funny. He would he would go crisscross applesauce and then he'd pull his legs up like through the crisscross applesauce because he's like weirdly flexible. Yeah. And then he would like kind of like
he would literally
crawl like on his arms.
Yeah, like go up on his arms and like crawl towards people and try and scare them, I guess. I thought it was so funny.
Do you remember how he would like perch on the tables too? Like he could just not sit like us, he would just like perch up like this.
It was very Death Note L coded. I don't know if you guys watch anime.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Very funny.
So funny.
I enjoyed Karl most of all, definitely, of like the Beast team. Have you guys like talked about like who your favorites were of the Beast team?
I don't know if we had talked
just
about
a little.
Yeah. I mean, I think we know Ivy's favorite person, which I would say the same. Sorry, Ivy, I'll cut that out.
No, you can leave it in. You can leave it in. That's funny.
No, nothing is as funny. Like, I'll be so real with you. You have I have some of the most funny memories of you just being Ivy. Like, there's so many, like, good, just hilarious memories, whether it be finding out that you have your resume sewed to your sports bra.
Yeah.
Yep. That was so funny. Like, it's so smart. Like, you're, like, literally cool as hell for that. But, man, it was so funny when you're like, yeah, I'm gonna ask him to scan it.
Yeah. That was sus, I'll admit. But I was gonna ask you guys if you remember when we were, because I'm pretty sure it was that same day when we were racing, and the bar to the boat was, like, so low, like, the roof, and I remember somebody was, like, helping me get in the boat, and they were like, "Oh, watch your head, and I was like, "Guys, I'm not gonna hit my head," and then 2 seconds later, dunk, and everyone in the boat was, like, clowning me, they're like,
Oh my
"Not gonna hit your
god.
head, huh?" And I was like,
Classic Ivy moment.
and I feel like I hit it. Oh, it was just so, I was like, "Okay." It had to happen. It had to happen.
Well, after you said once you
So
said
many
that.
Ivy moments.
But yeah, so I would say Karl's all of our favorites. After that, I would say Chandler. I think Chandler's super funny. I love how, like, awkwardly funny he is. So
I agree.
Yeah, he is.
they're, like, my top 2. I mean, I could say the rest, but I'm not gonna do him dirty like that, so I'll just give top 2.
Hey, I already know who's your bottom. I know Ivy's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know mine. I think you know mine.
Are you gonna say yours? Or are we keeping that?
Are you gonna
Well,
cut
I'm not
that
gonna
out?
say it if you're gonna leave it in.
Okay. Okay, wait. Now I want to know though, but I'll cut it out. Flash forward. We get back from the island. We're in the city. We go to choose our either between physical, mental, or chance. Corn, were you always going to go mental? What was your thought process between those 3 choices?
So I would have picked physical if I felt like I wasn't gonna have to go up against very, very strong guys. Like, because I feel very confident in myself physically. I was a competitive gymnast we literally just talked about this. I was a competitive gymnast for 12 years. I was like varsity volleyball player. Like, I did a lot of sports growing up, like a ton of sports. I've always felt very physically good. So I wanted to be able to do physical, but I just was like, man, if he pulls some whack shit and is like, hey, I need you all to do a push-up competition, which they did do a push-up competition. That was literally in my head. If he goes, I need you guys to do like push-ups or pull-ups or something like that, and whoever can do the most like moves on, and whoever does the least gets like eliminated. I'm gonna be like, I'm genuinely like, I'm not gonna be able to do that because like, I'm not gonna, who am I gonna be? Who am I gonna be?
Right,
like, and especially once I saw a lot of guys and like a lot less girls going over there, I definitely was like solidified. No, I'm not doing physical. I kind of like wish I had a little bit, but I'm not like mad at my choices. I did think about chance, but ultimately it always came down to this entire game has basically been chance this whole time. And that is so frustrating. And so I like wanted something that didn't feel like entire chance and felt like something within my control a little bit more. And so but I will say, Emma said this exact same thing. And I think it is so funny that we ended up paired up together and that we both had this same thought, where it was sort of like I saw yellow and for some reason I just knew that that was the one I needed to pick no matter like what thing it was. I had that same thought. And so I was like, no, but I'll see what it is. I'll see what it is. And then it came up that it was mental and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to pick mental. It just felt like right. I just would feel wrong if I had gotten out on chance and known that there was like a way for me to be more active in my, place in the game. You know what I mean? Right. I felt like choosing chance was a super passive approach, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And yeah, I wouldn't have changed my decision either. I would have stuck with mental.
You too, Ivy?
Yeah, I agree.
I know we talked a lot on your live stream. We covered a lot in episode 6, so if you guys want to hear the details about that, you can go watch either Corn's VOD or you can watch me and Ivy's behind the scenes episode. But we're gonna flash forward to Corn's moment, since that was a huge moment in trivia and we want to cover that. I know you're a good storyteller, so why don't you just start from the moment you and Emma knew you were going to go against each other? Like, as soon as Colton picked me, did you say anything to Emma?
I just kind of like, so to be fair, some of this could be altered because I want to put this disclaimer out again. I was so sick. I was incredibly sick that day. My mind was like not even remotely there. If you ever saw me hunched over in the episode, it's not even because I'm nervous or anything, which is so like, yeah, guys, I wasn't even worried at all. But no, I genuinely was just so sick feeling and so terrible feeling. And so some of this is really a little fuzzy. And so if I get any of this wrong, I apologize. Emma, correct me in the comments. So I just remember it did not even hit me that I was going to really go against Emma until it was down to Colton and Ava. Like, I don't know why, but like it just did not, the thought didn't occur to me. And then like Colton picks you and my sick brain goes, oh my God. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's what it clicked.
And then I just remember like he gets like picked and I like look over at her and I'm just like, oh my God. I don't even think I said anything to her at first. I think I just kind of was like, because I knew she was thinking the same thing. Just like, oh my God, we have to go against each other. Oh my God. Are you kidding? And I wasn't anticipating that because I was pretty like on the lower end of the IQ test situation. And so I assumed I wasn't going to get to pick anybody. I genuinely thought I wasn't going to get to pick and that it was just going to be, you know, like somebody was going to pick me. That was going to be what it was going to be. Honestly, I kind of wish it was that way because I feel like I would have done better on the questions. I don't know. But so I watched y'all go and, you know, was just kind of, it's part of the reason I don't remember a lot of y'all's is I was so just in my own head, like, oh my God, and thinking about all of that and thinking about all the stuff going on and also thinking about, well, you know, if I do go home right now, I will have a hotel to go to and actually be able to take a warm shower. And that will feel very, very nice on my feverish brain, I think. And so, yeah, I was definitely just really sad, bummed out, and out to lunch.
Yeah, that, and it's funny, Corn, because I remember me and Ivy were in the hangar and we were waiting to see like which one of you made it through.
Thought when I came down there I was either alone or Ivy was like literally leaving.
Yeah, I think I saw you right before we like left for the hotel.
I think that might have been what it was. So I basically was like alone coming down there, which was
yeah,
that was pretty brutal. I won't lie.
Yeah, we were probably literally like walking out as you came in because they were trying to like shuffle us out because they were like, all right, let's go. Because we were hanging out with Karl and Nolan. They're like, all right, guys, we gotta shuttle to the hotel or whatever. And then you walked in.
Couldn't wait for me.
Yeah.
I was like, mainly my whole thing was that I was just upset that I wasn't going to be hanging out with people in Beast City the next day. That was like my entire thing. Like, I was just going to miss my friends so much. I was like, dude.
That's literally the worst part. And you're never knowing, like, if you'll ever see them again.
That's like the biggest thing, is that you're like, I don't know if we're ever going to hang out again. Like, what if we literally just don't ever hang out? That's going to suck. So it was like the death of like the type of friendship that we had that was so incredibly sad. But, you know, I was really happy for Emma to be moving on, though. That was one thing that I just kept thinking was like, she's going to go on, she's going to do this. And so is Akira and Colton. They're going to move on and they're going to go do this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, those are the
and
things
a
I was thinking about.
like behind the scenes thing. You remember when they had us rank the remaining players of like who you would want to win?
I do.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? It's very interesting.
Interesting.
I wonder.
I'm very curious to see how they use it.
Yeah. And I remember they like took a picture of me in front of it. They're like, for evidence. I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know.
Wait, okay, I want to hear, did you guys talk about who you ranked?
Well, I put Emma as #1, so.
You did?
Yeah. I'm trying to.
Okay.
I wonder if I could remember.
Who'd you put as your #1, Ivy?
I put Emma and then I had you.
Aww.
And then when I saw you, I was like, bruh. Like, it was like everybody I ranked. Because I had Ava, I think, as either 3 or 4. I forgot where JC was. And then I saw Ava and I was like,
no.
Was like,
oh, yeah, that's funny, no. Ivy. Because, like, I knew, and now I remember, I knew you were eliminated, Corn, because when I went to go do my ranking, I saw your picture and I turned to him and I was like, she was just eliminated. And he was like, oh, then just put her at the bottom. So, Corn, technically you were my last. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Darn.
I knew you were gone, though.
Okay.
And that's why Emma was #1, so.
Oh, no. No worries. It's okay. I just was genuinely curious what y'all's rankings were. And I forgot that, like, it was after me that, like, that's so funny. Because I put Akira and then Emma. They were like, I think. Oh God, wait, no, but Piper and Kendra were still in.
I know, yeah, it's like hard.
Because I think I put my Vegas crew first. So I know
Mhm.
Akira was my number one. And then Piper and Kendra, I don't know who I put before who, and then it was Emma. And then it was, I don't know who I put, maybe it was JC. I don't remember. No, Colton. Sorry, Colton was after that.
I'm like trying to remember
So
at least my top 3. I want to say I know, like, obviously Emma was up there, JC was up there, Patrick was up there. I'm trying to think of people because Maddie was up there.
oh yeah, Maddie was up there for me too. I really like Maddie.
Yeah, I love Maddie, dude. She
Mhm.
She's
she
so
is
sweet.
literally like my
She is.
therapist. It's crazy.
She's like mom. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maddie's the
she
mom.
She's like mom.
Maddie's the mom. That's her username
She
on
is the mom.
Instagram. All right, so now that we've covered our eliminations, we are no longer in the show, but we have a lot of opinions to share about episode 7, specifically for Corn. I want to hear your opinion on Akira's situation with the trains and how you think you would have performed in that challenge, or what you would have done to maybe essentially save Akira.
I'll be honest with you, there's a really, really good chance I'm pretty sure that if I hadn't gotten eliminated in mental, that I absolutely would have been eliminated in the train game, especially if Akira did get voted up there. And if I had let him go up there, because that was the big thing we talked, obviously we've talked since the games. And so like one thing that we talked about was that, or like discussing whether or not I would have let him go up there, because he was like, honestly, if you'd been there, it wouldn't have taken almost any convincing to get me to not go up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually don't know if I would have advised him to or not to. I probably would have advised him to, honestly. I probably would have been like, probably go up there. But interestingly, I would have also thrown my hat in the ring too. I know I would have, because I've done it before. Like you didn't see it, but I also originally was throwing my hat in the ring for the pink team on episode 2. And so that, like, it didn't really scare me to be like a captain or anything like that. So that would have been something I would have been open to as well. So I actually have no idea how any of that would have gone, but I assume that if you were whoever was the first captain was kind of doomed to get out.
Right.
You know what I
agree
mean?
with
Unless you
that.
saved people, I think you're kind of doomed to end up to go out. And especially because they did the whole best friends situation.
Yeah.
I can tell you that I think I can say I would have been his number 1 based off of everything that like we talked about during the games, or like his number 1 on his like list, or closest friend on the list. And yeah, I definitely would have been up there instead of Colton. Yeah. So I think I would have been out for sure. But I didn't think Akira did anything wrong. I think he played the game like as it needed to be, because they needed to get down to 10 people, and he was elected as captain. He never told anybody he wasn't going to eliminate people. And I know it wasn't about the money for him, and that it really was a thing. Like, he wanted to get the people out that weren't his closer friends, because he wanted to make sure that his friends had a spot in that top 10. That was his entire goal, was trying to help his friends move on in the next game, even if he wasn't going to get to move on. That was his biggest thing. And so I know he was really crushed by Colton getting out and kind of being like the reason, I guess, Colton got out, which isn't necessarily true, but I know he felt kind of bad about that, and that he felt really bad for all of the people that he did eliminate, because he really cared so much about their dream as well, and like also knowing that they were losing out on something really big too. But he was trying to prioritize his friends and make sure that the people he wanted to make to the top 10 were going to get to make it to the top 10. So
right, yeah,
kind of a tough thing to bear. And I get it. Like, it's tough, and it's going to be really tough when people see that versus episode 6, where he gets out the Habibis, because I'm sure people are not going to take the context of the situation, and they're just going to be like, oh my gosh, he got out the Habibis and he seemed like such a hero, but he's not actually a hero. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're going to twist it, because maybe we'll see. I guess we'll have to see people's responses to the episode. I'm worried that people will think that because he is eliminating people, and I'm like, I don't know. I just think it makes sense why he was eliminating people.
Right, and it does.
Right.
And essentially going up as the first leader and then going in like another round, he basically broke like the barrier, of like eliminating people and like keeping your best friend over 3 people or whatever. And so that kind of and that's why it's going to be, people are going to take that heavily and try to turn the narrative of hero to villain, because he was the first person to do that. But if he
Yep.
wasn't the first person, someone else would have done it. Like 100%.
Somebody else would have done it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that you got to realize that people, it's honestly not that different from picking people on the helicopter, because
Right.
you
Yeah.
know that the people that you're leaving there are almost guaranteed to not make it, like based off of the numbers. And we're down to the top 20. It's just going to be more cutthroat, and you have to understand you have to get down to the top 10. There's no option that all of the people, or like some of the people, there's like a maybe number. Like they said top 10 from what I remember hearing from Akira. And so it's kind of like, okay, there's only going to be 10 left. I want it to be my friends because I want one of us to win. Fair.
Exactly.
And if you get the opportunity to make sure it's going to be you and your friends, you make it happen.
Like, I don't see in what
mean-
world someone would pick like essentially a stranger over their best friend. Like, not a stranger, but
Exactly.
like you're gonna pick someone that you talk to a lot more than someone that you've barely talked to in the games.
That's, I mean, to me, that's the whole thing with the whole train problem, which obviously is like different because you're actually killing people. Like, because that's what it's based off of, right? The train problem,
Yeah.
3
The
people,
trolley-
or
trolley
one
problem,
person
yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, the trolley problem. Like 3 people or 1 person you know. If you say that you're picking anything besides the 1 person you know, I just feel like you're not being honest.
Yeah.
I feel like you're like looking for some sort of like hero status or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, like, I'm like, obviously you're going to pick the person you know and that you have a connection with.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like at this point in the
100%.
game, friends are gonna go against friends. Like, people have to go. And at this point, yeah, we all got really close to each other. So it's gonna be emotional no matter what. No matter how many conversations you
Mhm.
had with them. Like, and I know things get pretty tense in that episode, and it's just like, I get it. I 100% get it. I want to address Mia got pretty hard-headed when it came to Akira's decision with her, and it's
Look,
like,
you
don't
gotta
you have-
understand, you won the island already. You were the first on everyone's list.
Right.
Like, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Because I like Mia. I think Mia's really, really cool, and I think she's a really strong competitor. But that's actually, in part, why she's gonna be on the top of everyone's chopping block or list, because she is such a fierce competitor. It makes strategic sense to get rid of her at that point, especially if you aren't close to her. Like, Akira wasn't
Yeah.
close to her, and she already won the island. She got $1.8 million from that. It makes sense to let somebody else have a chance. That's how I would think about it, at least. And I know that that's
Yeah.
not how she was thinking about it, but I just think that that's literally fair. And I don't think it's fair to insinuate that there's a different reason besides that, because I think it is blatantly obvious that it is because not only did you win $1.8 million already, and so many other people here also need a shot at that money and also want a shot at that money too, but like, you're going to be okay because you already have that. You also are an incredibly fierce competitor, and you have proven that you are a fierce competitor.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why would we want to keep you in and have to go up against you at this point? That's just strategy.
Yeah. And that's like,
Mhm.
I feel like that's basic common sense, honestly. Like, $1.8 million
Yeah.
in your pocket, I think you'll be fine without the $5 million.
You will
Yeah,
be
you're gonna be
okay.
okay.
Like, you will be okay. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Or when I was talking to him, he was talking about winning the Lambo, and he said that he put himself up there after that because he's like, okay, well, now I've like made money. You know, I've made it really, really far. It makes sense to go ahead and eliminate me. And I also I don't want to be the reason that one of my friends gets eliminated or something. And I understand it's a really hard decision. I remember him telling me that too. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me that you're like, I've already won this much money, and I know you want to try to go as far as you can, but you've also got to be realistic about it. Like, you're going to be on people's hit list since you've made so much money already.
Yeah.
Which seems stupid, I guess. Like, I get it. It's like, who knows how rich everybody is that's coming into the games? Who knows how good their reason is or whatever. Fair, but within the context of this game, you've already won a lot of money.
Right.
So
Yeah, exactly. That's that.
I'm glad we're on the same page about that, because I heard about that. And again, this is no slight to Mia at all. She's a great competitor, and she might have even been doing that to try and save herself at the very end as like strategy, right?
Right.
I totally get it. But like, no hate, you're a great competitor. That's why you had to go.
Yeah, that is absolutely brutal. But yeah, I guess that wraps up our little chat today. Let's roll out the red carpet for you. Drop your socials, all your usernames, and anything coming up that you want people to look forward to, if you have anything.
Okay, so my username on literally everything is at Cornelia Bunny. and except for Instagram, it's Cornelia Bunny _ because somebody has my username there. I don't know. But subscribe. I make some content related to Beast Games as well, and a lot of other things. I play a lot of like indie horror and just have a lot of really fun, funky things coming up. And yes, I do stream, so I'd love to see you there if you ever want to come hang out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so glad that I got to be a part of this podcast. What an exciting thing, because I watch you guys' podcast. And so to finally be like, all right, yeah, I made it, guys. I made it. One final thing I want to shout out. COUNSELOR. That's right.
She knows it, guys. She knows it now.
That's right, folks.
She has it locked down
Forever.
now.
It's never leaving. It's there forever.
Thank you so much, Corn. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, and comment down below your favorite moment that Corn had throughout the show. That's an interesting one. Let's do that.
Yeah.
But that's it. See you guys soon. Everyone say bye.
Bye.